It is officially the last day of the month, and I thought it would be a good idea to do a little checkup on what I've been doing for the entire month, because this was originally supposed to be like a vlog style video of me getting ready for a convention next Saturday, so February 4th. But it kind of just ended up being a video of me doing whatever this whole month, so I'm just gonna do a brief summary of what I have planned for the year. So one of my goals for the month, because I did in fact write them down this year, one of my goals for the month was to be in at least 4 conventions this year. 4. I am very happy to say though that by right now I'm officially going to be in 3 different events. It's MangaCriolla, which is February 4th. This will be out after I'm there, so you guys will see it. I have Comic-Con coming up in April again this year. Second time. 2! Very excited about it because I think I know what I could improve on from last year, and maybe this year will be even better. And then the third one that I'm gonna be is in Feria de Comics. I was gonna say Festival de Comics, but it's not. Feria de Comics, and that one's in May. And that one I'm very excited about because it seems to be more like zines and mini comics and all that. And I made zines, you can see it in the video, I made a whole zine. It's not gonna be printed and ready to go by the event that I have in February, but I have them done. And I just thought that this would be time for a little checkup on everything that I've been doing because the month is over. And I still have a few things left to do for the upcoming convention, but I am not that worried about it because I planned it out pretty well. A reoccurring theme for the month of January that I didn't realize until it was already early February was that I actually did a lot of things, and in my brain, I thought I wasn't doing enough. So that's why there's so much footage in here. When I decided to make that list of goals for the year, I made it around December, and I would like to think that most of them were based on things that I could realistically accomplish because I was already officially in these 3 conventions, and I added in the 4th one to sort of see if I could get another one by the end of the year. But I was working on all of these things in early January without realizing just how much I was doing, so that's probably why I was so exhausted all the time. You can't really see a lot of the things that I did in early January because I didn't really record a lot of the more boring stuff like ordering stickers or making the little sticker sheets because a lot of it is art that I already had made the year before. I just needed to scan it or decide if I was going to get them printed or not. And the stuff that is being recorded is like the little menial tasks that I remembered to record while I was already at my desk. So like I'm working on a zine currently, and these images are for a Beauty and the Beast comic that I am hoping to get printed by Feria de Comics. I don't want to share too much about it because I haven't gotten it printed yet, but Beauty and the Beast is one of my special interests of all time. I go into phases, and I watched a bunch of more obscure movies that I found on YouTube about it, and it got me thinking about what other variations of Beauty and the Beast you could make, so that's what this little comic is about. After I finished it, I put it away because there was no way I was going to have it printed by February, though. My computer decided to do an update like literally right now, and it's been like that for a while now. I just want to order my prints. Can I do that? Thank you.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
All of my stickers have been ordered. So I'm in that weird limbo moment where I'm waiting for them to arrive because they're supposed to get here today. I'm hoping I can finally get these prints ordered so that I can get them before late February, because I know that if I want them for April, I'm gonna have to order them now to prevent any missteps like what happened last time. But overall, everything is ready to go. I just need to print stuff, you know? Once I have everything confirmed, I will call it a day. Not to interrupt the cutting paper ASMR, but in between waiting for the stickers, I accidentally printed more of this one because I thought that this one was the one of my angel stickers that I didn't order glitter versions of, but I'm not mad about it because people did buy the paper version
because it was like a cheaper option. So people still liked it. I'm not mad about it. I also went ahead and I cut out some of my breakfast girls because I wanted to see how more of my original art would sell at conventions, and so I went the cheaper way and I printed some at home as paper stickers just to see if people would be interested in them. Mainly because this is one of my favorite portfolio pieces, and I'm really trying to experiment and see what people gravitate towards when they're at my table at conventions.
In order to prevent myself from going crazy, I decided to do inventory. I know I want to make a few more pins. I still have to recount all of the prints that I have, even though I know that I want to make a few more. And I made a garland for tables, I guess. I really just wanted something to do to get my mind off of the fact that my laptop might not help me out today. My computer is back on. I really want to have these two be together. I think they look really pretty together. Will people know that that one is the same theme or not? That's my question. And is it worth it getting more than just that one print made extra? Because I also really wanted to make prints of these, even if it's just like 1 page each, so that I can have little 4 mini prints. Because I don't really think that they'll be as popular as my other prints, but the stickers that I had of these sold really well at Comic-Con. So I might as well give it a shot and make little mini prints, see what happens. And if they sell well, then I know that that's a viable option for next time to get more of. And also, these, I don't necessarily know if they'll sell well either, because I haven't even tested sticker versions of it. But it's definitely more my kidlit style, and I want to at least have a few prints of those if I ever attend a more kid illustration related thing. I don't know, I'm at a loss with whether or not I should even print more things, because I was a little overwhelmed when I was doing the inventory by how much didn't actually sell last year, even though I did pretty well last year. Because I know the stickers are going to sell better than anything else.
So I got to the point where I was getting really stressed out because in my brain, all of this planning was for Comic-Con because Comic-Con was such a big event. And I suddenly realized, that thing in February is coming and it's coming really soon. And I should probably start working on that. And because I didn't think I was even going to get prints in time for that, I was totally prepared to just take the old prints that I was going to take to the February thing, and I wanted to take a break. The stickers were already ordered, and I decided to work on my little wort painting, which ended up being really therapeutic, I guess, because I do a lot of weird stuff on that wort painting. It's just kind of become like a weird little mini project where I try to see how many of my little hobbies I can include on it. And this time I decided to add plaster because I wanted to have 3D looking tree branches. I had no idea if this was going to work or not, which I guess is why I chose plaster, because sure, it could get the embroidery that I made get really gross and really ugly, but I could cover that up and I could scrape it off if I didn't like it, but I ended up really liking it. So hopefully, I can finally finish this painting before next Halloween. Did what I usually do, so I just took plaster and I mixed in whatever colors I thought would make the nicest brown, and then I put it into a saran wrap thing, and I put in those little piping bag tips on top of it. I put tape over it because I don't really have a piping bag, and I usually get like accidents where it spills out whenever I do use it, so I just tried to cover that up to avoid mistakes. It was still a little messy, but it dried really well, so I'm happy with it. While working on this, I was suddenly told that I had to get dressed so that we could go out as a surprise, and I just kind of had to leave it there. The next day, I was waiting for wort to dry, and I was still waiting for some things to get there in the mail, and instead of doing things that I was supposed to do, I also decided to take another little break, and I started working on embroidery. I didn't know if I wanted it to actually be a part of the wort painting, but then it just kind of ended up being another thing that I'm eventually going to add. When I filmed this footage, I thought it was going to be just like some nice little B-roll that I could put in things, but honestly, as soothing as it is, it's really boring to watch, so I'm just going to speed on through it. I'm not even going to tell you what this is for, but hopefully it'll be in another video and it'll make sense with why I added it in for the stuff I did this month. Honestly, from here on out, you can probably tell that while I was waiting for my stuff to get in the mail and doing some really boring things that, well, not necessarily boring, you guys probably don't want to see, like me sending out emails and stuff, I filled the time by just making projects around the house that I thought maybe you guys would be interested in, but have absolutely nothing to do with getting ready for conventions. In this case, I took down that little tapestry-ish thing that I had on my wall from a failed project that I am too stubborn to fully get rid of, even though it is cracking, so I decided to turn it into a wall hanging. One thing about me is that I am incredibly stubborn, and this is from a super old project, and by super old I mean 2020, and in it I was trying to restore an old armoire from the early 2000s from our computer room to turn into a bookshelf thing for my art supplies in my bedroom. That did not work. The thing collapsed on itself. I am not a carpenter. I don't know why I thought I could do it, but I used one of the pieces to make this. It ended up being really pretty, but I had no use for it. I turned it into a wall hanging thing, and then it started cracking and I was too stubborn to get rid of those birds. So here I am cutting it up again to take out the pieces that I still really like, because I am nothing if not a gremlin who recycles. You'll see what it turns into later, because I'm trying really hard to keep everything in chronological order. One of life's greatest ironies is that I was waiting for the stickers to arrive, and while I was waiting for them, for some reason the prints that were not supposed to arrive until like mid-February somehow got here super early, and so that's why you can see me cutting them out here. So even though it was not a part of my plan originally, I did actually end up taking these to the convention just to see how they would do. And ironically, even though I filmed pretty much everything else, I did not film myself cutting up the stickers that actually did arrive around the same time, because they arrived separately. And once again, the ironic part is that I was really hoping not to get too many of these, because I was already so overwhelmed by the amount of prints I still had, and they still sent me some freebies, which I'm not mad about, because how am I supposed to be mad about freebies? But I was feeling very stressed. I also don't know why. I think it might have been my fault, but the mini version of this print, 4 of them came out looking really dull, and the other ones are fine, so I don't know if I should put them as a discount print on Etsy. I don't know if anyone would buy them. So yeah, I pre-packed a certain amount and I put them together by size, and these are the ones that I have so far. These are the last few of my stickers while I wait for the last batch. And fast forwarding a bit in time, because I did not know where else to put this, this is what the birds ended up being, and I hung it up in the same spot in my wall. And then this is a certificate that I got when I learned about art therapy, also this month. Like I said at the start of the video, I did do a lot of work this month that I don't think I really thought about, because a lot of it involved me sitting in front of the computer all the time, and I guess I didn't think that I was being all that productive. And one of the things that I did was that I finished a book on angelology, which is why I did all those angel stickers, but that's beside the point. And I finished it, so I ended up writing a whole little poem on my wall because I was bored and I was waiting for my new stickers. And I need you guys to know that I did not write that myself. It is a quote that I found in that book. I do not do poetry. Anyway, that same day I was feeling crunched for time, and so I decided to set up all the display stuff so that I could pack that up and just wait for the stuff that I didn't have yet. This is me making a little display frame for my bookmark so that people could see it, because I noticed that when I had the binder with the display images of my bookmarks last time, people didn't flip all the way to the back to see them, and they didn't even know that I had them. And so this time I put them in a little frame so people could see them when they walk up to my table. I did the same thing with my stickers, except this time I divided up the stickers because I had way more than I did last year, and I divided them by the ones that were paper stickers and the ones that were vinyl or glitter. This one was kind of easy because I had all of these stickers already, at least the paper ones, and some of them were ones that I was just kind of wanting to get rid of like the flower stickers, and I honestly didn't know if people would even buy them because they're just flowers, but I sold out of pretty much all of them except one. I literally only have one left of one of these flowers. And unless I manage to get more of those flower stickers, I'm probably going to have to come up with a new display design by Comic-Con, just because there's no point in keeping this frame without most of the merch. Then there's this last one, and this is like the big one where I put all of my fancier stickers, and since I was still waiting for the last 4 pieces, I kind of had to play some Tetris to sort of figure out where everything was going and leave a space for them, and you'll see the finished one once I get the new stickers. I really love how all of the stickers on this specific frame came out, but especially the angel stickers, and you'll see later I'm going to do a comparison between what it looks like in my sketchbook and what it looks like as a sticker, and I think it's really cute. I hope that'll make up for the fact that I completely forgot to film myself and show what the stickers look like when they arrived. And it's time for the end of the month check-in with me from the beginning of this video.
If you follow me on TikTok, you might have seen it. I found this bowl that looks like an onion. My pins are in there. It's got layers. I'm not bringing these to that convention. These are specifically for Comic-Con, because I don't think I'll have enough if I sell a bunch at this upcoming convention. And Comic-Con's the one that's stressing me out the most, but I have time to worry about that one. It is officially the last day of the month. It is officially the last day of January, and I'm gonna do a little checkup on everything that I've been doing. I am very stressed, but not as much as I thought I would be, if that makes sense. Saturday is MangaCriolla, and it is on February 4th, obviously. It won't matter by the time I post this, because it'll be over. But, you know, keeping you up to date, that's the convention that I'm currently getting ready for. This one that's coming up right now is one day, so I'm not that stressed about packing everything. And hopefully I can be in at least one more after that. I just need to email people and send out feelers, because I think the main problem is that I want to be in them, but a lot of the time I don't know they even exist until after they've already happened. Very hard to get into a convention once it's over. Getting stuff ready for Comic-Con was very stressful because of the time crunch. This year, however, because I knew that I was going to be at least 3 events at the end of the year in 2022, I knew about this. I was able to think about what I needed to get way on time. And so I'm not as worried anymore about getting ready for these conventions, because I already have everything I need for the one in February. Baby.
February. On February 7th. February.
In the video,
February.
you say February.
February.
Febrero. For the one in Febrero. I already know that I have everything ready for that one, except for my little mini flyers, because I made enough business cards that I can take to Comic-Con, and I don't want to waste them at this event, because Comic-Con is a 3-day event, and I ran out of business cards pretty much the first day that I did Comic-Con. And so I have a box for just Comic-Con, and if I have any left over, which I doubt it, then I'll take them with me to my other event, which is smaller, and just use them up there. But I don't want to waste them beforehand. So I have a file on one of my drives that's just flyers. It's really just my business card, but it's going to be printed on black and white paper. And I can't do that until I go to Office Depot, which I can't do until Thursday. So a lot of stuff that I still have to do are things that I can't do until Thursday, but I'm not that worried about it, because it's literally just an Office Depot tour, and then we're done. I have her as my front, and then the back is essentially what I'm going to be printing out on the flyers. So like my name, where you can find me, and a QR code. I just updated my link tree to have all of my QR codes, because for some reason last year I decided to be an idiot and print out individual QR codes for things. So I had like an Etsy QR code, a YouTube QR code, like a dumbass, when I could have just had A QR code to everything?
You don't have bad luck. The reason that bad things happen to you is because you're a dumbass.
So that's new. That's new. I've learned from previous mistakes. So hopefully this year we will be more efficient. And I'm thinking of getting color printed pages for my display, because what I did at Comic-Con was that I had a binder of some of my prints and people could look through them and decide which one they wanted, but it's really bulky and it's a waste of like prints. So what I'm thinking of doing is getting like color prints on regular office paper and just using that as my display, and if people like it then they can get the actual print so that I don't damage the one that's in the binder. That's my new plan. One of the things that I was waiting to film also was my new stickers. My new stickers came in late, but they got here last night, so I didn't film myself printing them, but they came out really nicely. She's my favorite. She's my favorite of all time. The great thing about a lot of my work for convention seasons this year is that a lot of it is just straight from my sketchbook. I was able to scan it and turn it into stickers or other merch. So a lot of the pins are just like these. And I have a print that's also a sun and moon. So I feel like this year I'm way more cohesive. Cohesive is the right word. My mom found these just hanging around the house, never used. And I'm gonna see if I can use them. I don't think it's enough for all of my individual stickers, but it's useful. I'm gonna try to figure out what to do with it. I don't know if I should have them standing up or if they'll fall over, or if I should just have them like this, maybe stacked. I don't know yet, but we're gonna play around with this. An update on Elijah Wood. Since I was trying to keep you guys up to date this month on how Wirt/Elijah Wood is doing, this is it so far. So the last thing you saw is the last thing I worked on. It's getting there. I've been saying that for several months now. The spirit of Elijah Wood is haunting me. I fully believe that. He's making it nearly impossible for me to finish it, and yet he wants me to finish it. So I think he needs to think about what it is that he wants me to do.
Anyway, update that definitely was not a spliced up video of a much longer video of me just rambling on and on. It is time for me to show you guys the stickers and the sketchbook pages that they actually came from. I think this was probably my favorite thing about the entire convention experience, was whenever somebody asked me how I made my pieces, I was able to show them my sketchbook because I brought it with me, or at least the concept sketches. And even though I was originally overwhelmed, it felt so nice to see how cohesive everything was all together laid out like this.
It turns out that you can take these off. So I'm going to make some dividers that will sort of divide it long ways up so that I can put as many stickers in here as possible. So this is what I sort of have set up so far. It's not perfect. It's not that pretty either, but I made a divider and then I put in some extra cardboard in the back to make it higher up, so like steps. So I put all of the matte and glitter stickers on it. I did not have all that much room for the angel stickers, so I kind of just put them above on the other one. I just flipped it upside down. I don't really think there's a point to do the same thing to the remaining one because I don't really have that many paper stickers. They're pretty thin. So I'm gonna have these sort of on the table by themselves, and I'm gonna use the extra dividers for the zines. There's one empty space and it's gonna drive me a little nuts, but that's about it. Obviously I don't have a table of my own to do this, so I'm just doing this over the dining room table, so it's not perfect, and some of these things are still a little iffy, but I'm so excited.
I was debating on whether or not I should take my son Vincent to work, but it was a resounding yes.
For those of you that are new here, this is my son Vincent. He will be helping me on my convention season by doing what? Nothing except bringing me delight. I'm definitely going to add some packing peanuts to the bottom of the dividers that I made so that I can get up higher, because I'm noticing that they're tilting down, which is annoying, but you know, I just made it, so I'm pretty happy with myself for just thinking this up. Right now there's nothing in here because I'm going to print out color photos of the prints that I have so people can look through them instead of using the actual prints. I learned my lesson from last time. Like I said, paper stickers are going to be in front of the paper sticker display by themselves. This is where the business cards are supposed to be. Zines will be here. I'm going to move them so that they're closer to the people, and there's the empty space would be over there, but they're there. My sticker display. I don't necessarily know if everyone can see the bookmarks, but they're there. And the reason that I set it up like this, that I'm very happy about, is that here is where my QR code and other information is going to be. And then you have my logo. So it's like height. And then here would be some extra information. So it's on both sides of the table. Everyone can see it. I added my garland by just putting in a little safety pins, but I don't really think anyone will be able to tell, especially if I do it underneath, but it's there and it looks really nice. This was originally my idea for Comic-Con last year, but I didn't think about making my own garland, and since I never found any stars that I thought were pretty and that matched my general table, I didn't get one or make one. Vincent is equally excited, as you can tell. Now that I know where everything is supposed to go, I'm gonna start cleaning everything up and organizing everything. Obviously, I'm gonna add stuff to that so that it'll be higher up. Isn't that right, Vincent? He agrees, he's just silent. So my handwriting is terrible, so I just made a file with a bunch of just my username over and over and over again because I'm gonna print it on clear sticker paper and then I'm gonna stick it to the back of my prints, because since a lot of these are old ones, I didn't get to put my name on them. So I'm gonna do that real quick now. So this is what I have so far. I made a bunch of these, and I think what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna have them on the bottom of the bigger prints just because there's like the white border, and I think that's okay. As you can probably tell from the lighting change, time has passed. I put it on all of the big prints and now I'm on the little prints, and on the little prints I have them on the back just because there's no border.
Thursdays are usually always the busiest day of my week for a number of reasons that I'm not going to get into. But specifically this day, I went to go get everything printed and I completely forgot to film that. So here's just a very quick time lapse of me putting everything in the binders and then making sure that I have all of the price signs for all of my frames and that I have all of the QR codes and everything up to date. I'm really glad that I went with the office paper display version thing instead of using my actual prints, because that's just a waste of prints. Even though the office paper did come out a little splotchy and a bit too oversaturated, people got the gist. And then here I am cutting up all of my little business cards / flyers for the event. I actually got more than I thought was necessary, and now I have a few extra after the event is over that I'm definitely going to take with me to Comic-Con just in case. And just like that, we're done.
It's over. We finished it. I'm actually really happy with how it all went down yesterday. Like I said in my Comic-Con video from last year, I had never been in a big event until Comic-Con, if you don't count like a festival or two that I did as a student or with a friend. And so I was really nervous about doing another one because I had never gone to MangaCriolla before. I had been to Comic-Con, you know, as a guest before, like I bought tickets to go and to buy stuff, but I had never been as a seller until last year. And so this is my first time doing another convention like that. And honestly, I really liked it. I'm definitely thinking of doing it again next year if I have the time and I find a way to, you know, get a space, but I really enjoyed myself. One of my best friends came to visit me yesterday as a surprise, so she was there. And by surprise, I mean that I didn't even know she was in the country until the day before the event. And so she came and she was with me for a few hours. So that was really fun to be able to share the table with her. I was able to meet a lot of people and I was really excited about it because some people followed me on social media and they told me that they specifically were looking for my table when they knew that I was going to be there. So that made me feel really happy. Some people didn't know who I was when they went to my table, and then maybe they saw something that they recognized from one of my sketchbook videos. Some people were artists that I had met at Comic-Con, and so I was really happy to see them again. And other people were people that I hadn't been able to meet just yet, but that I had followed. And now I know they're also going to Comic-Con, so I'm going to see them again in April. I don't know, I'm very excited. I think I said this in my Comic-Con video. It's really hard to tell what people are going to gravitate towards when you make things, which is why it's so stressful when you start printing things and buying stuff, because you're like, this is either going to work out really well or it's gonna flop, and I'm gonna have way too many of them in my house that I'm gonna have to try to sell at other cons. It's like a thing. You can never be too sure, but based on what I did at Comic-Con, I decided, well, I'm gonna make more of this style that people seem to like. And honestly, I got a lot of people coming to my booth specifically for those things that I made with that in mind, and I'm really happy that that seemed to work out for me. It's making me feel better about the things that I make, because I know that there is a market. I just need to find out a way to get there directly. And I was pretty happy to see how many people actually liked my biblically accurate angels. I haven't done the inventory again, but I sold out of the throne, so the one with all the eyes and the wheels. I had extra of these two specifically, so I didn't sell out of them, but I was close. There's only like 3 left of this one, which I'm happy about, because out of the angels, I do think that they are my favorite. So those sold pretty well, so I'm really excited about it. I'm thinking I might have to print more by Comic-Con. This one was also a pretty good seller, which is great, because out of all of my sun and moon designs, she is my absolute favorite. As usual, my little Black Phillip seems to sell really well, and I think the reason that I really like selling this one specifically is because a lot of the people that come to my booth and they get so excited about this one are like horror movie fans, and they can't wait to show me stuff that they like, and I think those are one of my best interactions. Like, I sold this sticker to a lady who had a tattoo and she bought it and she immediately went like, look, and she showed me her tattoo, and it was fun. This one I think sells more on Etsy, just because more people are looking for this kind of stuff on Etsy, but it's always fun to have like an interaction with people at Comic-Cons or conventions in general when they see something like this that they really enjoy. This one, I don't want to call it a flop, but it didn't sell as much as I thought it would when I was at Comic-Con. Out of all of the glitter stickers that I made, I think this one was the least sold, but for some reason I sold quite a few at this year's MangaCriolla. So I think it just depends on the place that you are in. I guess because MangaCriolla is like smaller than Comic-Con, maybe people are actually hunting for those kinds of things. And I sold a few, so that was nice. I especially love selling these to people who are already in a cosplay. Like, that's fun. One thing that I thought was really interesting in terms of prints, I don't have them with me right now because I still have to, do all the counting, is that last year I sold a lot of the sort of companion prints to this sticker, the one that says Women with Swords. I sold a lot of those, and of the bookmarks. But for some reason they did not sell at all at this convention. However, people bought the stickers so many times. I have way too many freebies of these, so it's not like it made really much of a dent, but she continues to be a seller. And oddly enough, this one did pretty well too. This one I think sold even more than the sword, and she wasn't really that much of a good seller at Comic-Con, so the more you know. But I have so many of these babies, and I'm still really proud of them. I wish I had Korra. I did make a Korra and a Roku when I made these, because this was originally a gift that I made. I tried to do like a portrait of all of them, and I animated them so they like go in order, but I'm just not as thrilled with the way that Korra and Roku came out. I don't think the colors are all that good, and I think it's because I specifically based these two on statues that exist in world. I changed some things obviously to make them more my style, and I wanted them to all sort of have that look of a statue, but I think the Roku and the Korra ones came out looking a little weird, I guess. Like, they look like they didn't belong. So I think if I can ever make them better and look just as good as these two, I might have like a set by 2024 Comic-Con. But that's a maybe. Finally, and I'm not surprised by this at all, I decided to bring out my little mini zines. And surprised to absolutely no one, at MangaCriolla, you know, a Puerto Rican convention, obviously, this was the most that sold. And I get it, okay? Because I too love this baby so much. So that one sold really well. I am definitely thinking of getting more prints of these by Comic-Con, but I don't know yet. This one, I would argue, was the second bestseller, which I think is really funny because she is the top seller on Etsy. And then this baby, I think I only sold one of these when I was there. Unfortunately, she is my least popular of all my zines, which is sad because I think she is my favorite. She is my favorite. However, I remember somebody came up and they got this one specifically and they said that they recognized my style. So that made me really happy. Overall, I did pretty well considering it was a one-day convention. I would love to go back. The wind was not my friend. The wind was not my friend. This was a convention that was sort of technically outdoors and indoors at the same time. It had a roof, but all of the sides were open air, and it was really windy and a little rainy. And so the morning of the event was kind of a hassle because things kept falling over. So a lot of the setup that I was really happy with just had to be completely changed. I had to move stuff around that kept getting knocked over. So it's not the same setup that I was happy with that had the height that I wanted. But I know that it'll work for Comic-Con because that one's completely indoors and air conditioned. So that's not going to be a problem. I'm probably going to do the same thing. But now I know what I need to work on if I ever do another outdoor event. So that's another thing. I'm gonna try to get into some more conventions, but in the meantime, I might post some of the ones that I have an excess amount of on Etsy, hopefully a week after this video is out.
My shop is currently on vacation mode because I didn't want to accidentally sell something that I might have run out of at the convention, so keep that in mind for later when I update some listings because I might have new stickers.
Because of the wind, Vincent unfortunately was denied his chance to shine. I really wanted him to hold up some of my signs at the event, but the wind was far too much and he is far too skinny. And so he didn't really get a chance to really do much of anything. So maybe by Comic-Con. He's saying goodbye. Thank you for watching.